Am I a boy or a man? Am I a hero or something else? I guess we're about to find out. Quote, Green Goblin, Harry Osborn. The secret history of Harry Osborn. How does the heir apparent of OsCorp become a masked vigilante? And what does Green Goblin know of his true status of the world he lives in? All and more will be revealed. Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 5. Months ago, on a fateful day, Norman Osborn and his wife Amelia were waiting for their son Harry, who was running late. Amelia reassured Norman, saying, I'm sure he'll be here soon and surely has a good reason. Norman replied, no, you're either where you're supposed to be or you're not. Anything else is just an excuse. You shouldn't offer them for him, and he shouldn't offer them for himself. Just then the phone rang. Norman answered it and said, where are you? Harry says he's a couple blocks away and will be there in just 5 minutes. Norman Osborn is not happy. Son, you know who you're supposed to be meeting, and I've stressed how important today is. This is unacceptable. Harry responds, look, I'm sorry, Dad. I'll tell you why I'm late, but it wouldn't matter, would it? Norman asks, what name do you bear? Harry replies, Osborn. Norman says, it's a great name. It means something. Harry, do you know what my favorite memory of you is? Harry says, yeah, the time we played catch. Norman responds, no, that's you, the little boy talking. That's the memory of a child. My favorite memory is the day you finally started acting like a man, like an Osborn. The problem is, it hasn't happened yet. Then the explosion happened, blowing up his father and mother, Norman and Emily Osborn. The last memory Harry has of his father saying to act like a man, to act like an Osborn. Harry Osborn just stares at the explosion, haunted forever by these last words. A diabolical genius known as the Maker created his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero. To rule his perfected Earth, he placed supervillains in charge of different regions, and together the Maker's Council quietly orchestrated the history of the world. When Tony Stark discovered the true history of the world, the Maker's Council perpetrated a terrible attack on New York City in Stark's name. Two of the victims in the attack were Norman Osborn, CEO of OsCorp, and his wife Emily, and now their son Harry Osborn is about to learn the truth of the world himself in a quest for justice along the way, eventually leading him to a masked vigilante named Peter Parker. A few weeks later, Bill the attorney, who has known Norman Osborn for 40 years and served as a personal attorney for 30 years, informs Harry Osborn and his wife, Gwen Stacy Osborn, about the inheritance. All of Norman's estate and personal assets now belong to Harry. Additionally, Norman's companies will also be Harry's, although this process will take about 6 months. However, the controlling interest is already his, and both Harry and Gwen will sit on the board. OsCorp will be run by Harry Osborn. Bill mentions one more thing. A card was delivered that morning, meant for Harry. Harry opens the card to find an image of a chess piece, the king. Harry finds himself summoned to a secret meeting with Wilson Fisk, who to the outside world is disguised as an entrepreneurial businessman, but is in reality so much more. Due to his business connections through his father, Harry knows full well that Wilson Fisk is actually the shadow governor of New York and the kingpin of Manhattan, as decreed by the Maker, secret cabal, the people who actually run the world. In this new ultimate universe, due to the Maker's tinkering, countries no longer exist as they once did. Instead, they have protectorates. The old boss of North American Protectorate just so happened to be Tony Stark's father, Howard, but now he's dead too. This leaves the question of what will be done with Stark-Stain Corp. Obadiah Stane had no children, meaning all control was ceded to the Kingpin. However, there's a twist. He doesn't want it. Wilson fully admits that he's no scientist and has no idea what he actually inherited in Stark-Stain Corp. Because of this, he's planning to sell it all off to Harry, hoping that Harry can use his knowledge to figure out exactly what the Stark family left behind. 2 weeks later, Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy Osborn, along with a third party, Doctor Octavius, are at the site. It took Otto 2 days to cut through the wall. This is not a titanium wall, but some kind of self-healing composite. Now Harry wants to see what's inside. As soon as they enter, they see the Iron Man suits. They found the lights, but they did not lead to electricity. There is an external power source. Inside this room, there's a fully functional arc reactor. Gwen Stacy observes all this, but is primarily looking for the data. The real goal is to learn how to make the suits. Otto Octavius notes there is a terminal attached to what he assumes is a data array. If what they're looking for exists, it is probably archived here. The trio's current objective is to find the information and data on how to build the suits and understand what happened. Dr. Octavius accesses the computer and finds accounts, suit designs, history folders, and everything they need. When Stacy becomes more interested in ensuring that Dr. Octavius signs a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, to prevent him from disclosing or using any of this information. This version of Dr. Octavius does not resemble the usual Doc Ock from Earth 616. He is skinnier and more in shape. 4 months ago, Dr. Octavius and Norman Osborn combined their efforts to create a new suit with modifications resulting in the new Green Goblin suit. Dr. Octavius designed the Goblin suit with a lighter shade of green. From the files, they have discovered who is truly controlling this world and who set off the bomb. They understand the extent of the damage intended to be inflicted with the new Goblin bombs. The hovercraft is powered by Stark repulsor technology, the same technology that enables Tony Stark's Iron Man to fly and is linked and controlled by the helmet. Once Harry put on the helmet, the AI system integrated with all of Howard's tech provided them with a map of every piece of Stark technology currently out in the world. This technology is activating every day. Constantly, every pico suit and every piece of Stark tech distributed to launch new heroes is now visible to Harry Osborn, and there's a lot of it out there. We then fast forward 3 months to the current events. In a flashback, Harry goes out as the Green Goblin not long after Spider-Man's first run-in with the Shocker. It's revealed that the Shocker's gauntlets are Stark tech. This raises the question, how would someone like the Shocker get his hands on Stark tech, especially since Tony Stark wouldn't have given it to him directly? Harry digs deeper and finds a dead man watching one of the same hollow messages that Iron Lad had sent. During a fight, the Green Goblin demonstrates the ability to turn off Stark tech. Harry confronts Shocker, asking him how he acquired the tech. Shocker explains, I was robbing this guy's apartment. Turns out he must have died of a heart attack or something while sitting in his favorite chair. Anyway, there was this light and the terrorist kid started talking and then the light stopped. These gloves were just sitting there, so I put them on. The Green Goblin believes Stark is still alive. Without his activated gloves, the Shocker tries to attack the Green Goblin, but his efforts are futile. Desperately, the Shocker pleads, you don't understand, I've got a wife, she's sick, I'm sorry. But the Green Goblin knocks him out, leaves the money, and takes the Shocker's gloves. 2 months later, Peter and Harry Osborn went out for drinks. The first question Harry asked was, what do you do? Peter replied, I'm a journalist. I mostly take pictures for the Daily Bugle. Harry then asked, are you married? Peter responded, yes, I'm married. And he knew about Harry Osborn because he's the son of Norman Osborn and one of the most well-known person in the city. Harry suggested maybe we should do dinner sometime with the wives. Peter cautiously replied, let's see how drinks go first. Harry Osborn says, tell me something. Did Tony Stark appear to you out of thin air and give you the suit? Peter responds, there was more to it than that. But yeah, did the same thing happen to you? Harry replies, no, I found all this out the hard way. Peter asks, care to define the hard way? Harry explains, well, after Stark was involved in the death of my parents, I inherited my father's company. Then I basically given Stark's company as well. After that, while reading through all the Stark family secrets, I discovered that the people who gave me the company might just be the most evil people in the history of the world. It's very possible that they, not Stark, are the ones who really have my parents' blood on their hand. Harry says, which I find unacceptable. So now I have a new job. Peter responds, okay, fair enough. I guess that qualifies as the hard way. Harry replies, thanks. Do you know why Stark picked you? Peter answers, yeah, he said I was supposed to be someone else, have a different life, which was stolen from me by the same people you're talking about, I'm guessing. Harry asks, and now you're going to do something about it? Peter says, he said I was supposed to be a hero, and as soon as he said that, I knew it in my bones. So yeah, of course, we're going to do something about it. That's what heroes do. Harry Osborn, as the Green Goblin says, at first I thought it was just your suit that gave you your powers. Honestly, you were the suit because it took almost a month to peel you out of it. So imagine my surprise when I found out the problem went a little deeper. You have some sort of embedded exoskeleton under your skin. And while it's impressive taking it off, that had to hurt. This is this universe's Bullseye. He is restrained. Bullseye responds, pain is part of the process. Bullseye continues, when my master lost his eye, my brothers and sisters tore out mine in solidarity. Do you have any idea what kind of devotion it takes to do such a thing? That's what you're dealing with. Harry replies, oh, I believe you're committed. I believe your master, all your masters are the world's evidence of that. But you need to understand, I am committed too. You're going to give me answers because I need them. You're going to tell me everything, and I don't care how long it takes to get what I want. Bullseye, showing resilience, says, you think answers are going to let you sleep at night? Harry retorts, I sleep like a baby knowing you're in here and I'm out there. No one here is afraid of you. Bullseye smirks. There's nothing wrong with lying to yourself. It's how most people get through all day. But I've seen it all, son, and I promise you, everyone thinks they want to be a hero until it actually costs something. And it always does. We make sure of that. Then we get to see what you really are. Harry contemplates. My father always talked about the difference between being a boy and a man, and maybe he was right, but maybe you are too. Am I a boy or a man? Am I a hero or something else? I guess we're about to find out. Next, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 5.